Pleased to be joined now by Cardinals general manager Monti Ossenfort heading into the Week 7 matchup with the Green Bay Packers. Monti, thank you for the time. How's it going?
Hey guys, good. Thank you for having me on this Friday. Getting ready for a tough challenge this week. Green Bay's a good team. They're good in all three phases. They're explosive on offense, and they can generate pressure on defense. So it's going to be a tough challenge for us. But we've had a good week here, and excited to get going on Sunday.
Well, Monti, we're 6 games in. Every single one of them has been a one-score game for you guys. Not the result you've wanted in the last 4. So just where's your head at after 4 losses here?
Yeah, Luke. I mean, I think you see it around the league every week. These games are tight, and it's a thin margin, and sometimes it doesn't go your way, and we're on a rough streak here, and we got to find a way to get out of it. And it's 4 in a row here, and they've each been a little bit different, and they've each come down. 3 of them for sure on the last play, and then the 4th one close to the last play. And so it's definitely not where we want to be, but there's no other way to get out of it than to just get out there and go get a win, and that's what we've been focused on. The guys have been great. You gotta quickly move on in this league. You can't let things linger. And was proud of the response of the guys last week and really take it to the wire against a good Colts team on the road. And the response this week has been good too. So excited for our guys. They're looking forward to the challenge, and we got to find a way to get over the hump here.
So, Monti, from a general manager's perspective, of course, and your staff, you're looking at it from a talent perspective. When you watch tape and you watch this team play, how close do you think you are to turning this around?
Well, Wolf, I mean, I think when you watch the games week in and week out, you can the game never comes down to one play, but there are 3 or 4 plays in each game that, like, man, if that one would have went our way, or if we would have made this play here, the result of the game ends up very, very different. And so, I would say just across the league in general, when these records come into play, this team, they got no chance in this game, and this team, this team's going to blow out this team. I mean, I think that is a very thin line between the talent and the different between team to team. And so it really comes down to those 3 hours on Sunday and who executes and who performs the best. And, really when it comes down to crunch time, who makes enough plays. And so far, last few weeks, we have not done that. And so that is our goal to find. But we have a good locker room. We have good players, and those guys, no one's more frustrated than them. And they're anxious to find a way to get over the hump here and find a way to get a win on Sunday.
Talking to Monti Ossenfort. Monti, the game last Sunday against the Colts, the offense really seemed to pick up, and Jacoby Brissett was in there. I just wanted your reaction when you're seeing the offense look the best it's looked this season with Brissett. Just your thoughts on how he played and what it means.
Yeah, a lot of respect for Jacoby. Jacoby's been in the league for a long time, and I was a part of the staff that drafted him back in New England a while back, and so Jacoby's done that his whole career, and it's why we were attracted to signing him, and we're very happy to add him to our group because that life as that number 2 quarterback, you don't always get the reps, and you have to prepare yourself to play, and you never know when your number is going to get called, and you got to be ready. And so to see Jacoby, handle that like a professional and go in there and operate the offense and be able to, put some points on the board, get some big plays, that gave us a chance, put us in a position to go down there and win the game. Unfortunately, we came up 1 play short, but, a lot of respect for what Jacoby did to come in and help our offense and put us in a position to have a chance to win that game.
So, Monti, as you know, fans want to know, is Kyler Murray your quarterback going forward?
Yeah, Wolf, I know that's always a hot discussion, and those are always fun discussions to have and speculation. And, really like where we're at right now is we had Kyler out there in practice yesterday. We're going to have him out there today. Really, we're going to continue to progress with him and see where he can be and see what he can do out on the field. And so, we at the same time, we got to prepare for if he's not ready to go. And so, that's one of those things where we're going to continue to try to get Kyler healthy and get him in a position where he can get back to doing the things that we know he can do on the field. And then, when he's doing that, he'll be out there. And so and at the same time, we got to have, if he's not ready to do that, Jacoby's got to be ready, which he showed he can do last week. So, I think our focus is really on getting Kyler to a point where he can get back out there on the field and do the things that we know he's capable of doing.
We're talking to Monti Ossenfort. Monti, with Walter Nolan, the practice window opening this week, obviously a big deal to get him back here at some point. Being that he's a rookie, just in your experience, how far do you think this has set him back to start off his career?
Well, Luke, I mean, I think missing any time as a rookie is tough. It really is. I mean, it's hard to make up for those reps. And so, we had a good spring with Walter. He had a really good spring, and then unfortunately had that injury right before camp started. And so, he missed valuable time in camp, and then obviously all the way up through the season. But he's worked extremely hard. He's put himself in a great position to come back from the injury. It was awesome to have him at practice yesterday. He's been chomping at the bit to get back out on the practice field. And, he looked good yesterday. And so, we have a plan for him. We have a plan that, it's not as easy just to say, oh, he got 2 practices in and let's get him out there. I mean, we got to be smart about this, and we got to do what's right for Walt, both his health and what he's ready to do for the team. And so he's not going to be ready to play this week, but we'll have a plan for him going forward, and hopefully we get him out there sooner rather than later. But it was awesome to have him out there yesterday. He looked good in his first time out there, really his first time putting shoulder pads on since really back in December when he was at Ole Miss. So he's working hard, but we're excited about what he can bring to our defense.
Monti, how critical is this Green Bay Packers game coming up this week?
Wolf, I think every game's critical. Yeah. I mean, that's life in the NFL. Like, we only get 17 chances to go out there and win a game, and it's a much. We only get 7. It's not like baseball or basketball that have many more dates on the calendar. We get 17 times to go out there and win a game, and so is this game more critical than the last or the next? Or I think every game is critical, and so that's why it's an opportunity for us to go out there and get a win. We need one. And our guys know that. So does that make any, the subsequent games any more or less critical? Not really. Every game's critical, and that's the way our staff and our coaches and our players approach it.
Talking to Monti Ossenfort. Monti, last time we talked to you, Marv was coming off a pretty good second half against Seattle, and we were just kind of wondering how much that's going to carry over. It seems like it has carried over for him. So I guess kind of a 2-part question, if you have any update on how he's progressing, but also just have you seen a difference from him the last couple games?
Yeah, I mean, I think he is definitely progressing, and there's certain boxes that have to get checked on the concussion protocol spelled out real clearly with the league, and Marv is checking those boxes, and it's another step today, and so hopefully we can continue to progress the right way. But Marv's had good practices. He made a couple plays in the game last week, including the one that he got hurt on. Was a great play on that over route, contested catch. It was an explosive play. Marv is continuing to do the things that we see in practice each week. When the ball comes his way, he's going to make a play. He had that rough stretch there early in the season, but that was abnormal from what we've seen of Marv the first 2 years. And so, really excited about where Marv's at. Think he's going to be a big part of our offense moving forward. He's had a good week of practice. Hopefully we can continue to trend in the right direction this week. But really, really happy with the way Marv has moved on from, a couple bumps in the road earlier in the season.
Monti, do you anticipate making any moves before the trade deadline coming up November 4th?
Yeah, I mean, that's coming up here in a couple of weeks. You're right, Wolf. And so, those conversations really start to pick up here in the next couple of weeks, I would say. Those are always conversations that we have across the league, and, people that we're interested in, people that other teams are interested in. Those are always fact-finding and seeing what opportunities may be out there. And those are, we've made a trade each year the last 2 years. We traded a player away 2 years ago. We traded for a player last year. So those are always things that we are going to look at for ways to improve the team. And if something makes sense for us to do, we will not hesitate to do it. So, I think those discussions here will come into play here in the next couple of weeks. And, that November 4th date's coming up. But, we certainly are going to be having those conversations.
Monti, just going back to the close games for a second, because everybody, around the league will always tell you that's kind of what the step a team takes from being decent to being a playoff team. In your experience, what pushes a team over in those late moments? Is it just experience playing together in moments like that?
Yeah, and I think there's a lot that goes into that. I mean, I think there's experience is some of that. I mean, I think it's guys stepping up and making plays in critical situations. Sometimes you make the plays, sometimes you don't. When you make more than you don't, then that's when it typically goes your way. I think there's a lot that goes into that, and so I think the more a team has been in those situations, it certainly can help. But I also don't think that's a given that's going to be the difference making. So, in the end, it's these games are tight, and these plays they come down to a few plays a game, and you got to be ready to strike when your opportunity is there. And so those are things that we're going to constantly stress. All 6 of our games have come down to really ultimately close to the last possession, and it's going to be that. It's going to continue to be that way. And so we're anxious to find a way to get over the hump there, but that's going to be nothing new. No matter what our record is, these games are close, and we got to find a way to get over the hump with them.
Monty, is a bye week for you and your staff? I mean, what are you going to do over the bye?
Yeah, I mean, I think Wolf we'll get through Sunday, and hopefully we can come off. It's always much nicer going into a bye week off a win. Yeah. So that's our main goal right now. But certainly there's certainly things that we will still be hard at, and then there'll be a time that we'll take a step back, and it's a long season, and we've been going here since late July, and so this will be the first kind of break, and our players need a break, our staff needs a break, and so there'll be time for that too. But no, it never completely shuts off. The league continues to run, and so it's that balance of finding some rest, finding some way to recharge, getting ready for the stretch run of the NFL season. But it's that balance where you can never really, it's the NFL season, you can never really completely turn it down.
Well, Monty, we appreciate this as always. Good luck on Sunday.
Awesome, guys. Thanks a lot. Looking forward to the chance this Sunday. It's going to be a good game, good matchup, and we're looking forward to the opportunity.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Thank you, Monty.
That's Cardinals. That's Cardinals General Manager Monti Ossenfort joining us right there on the Arizona Sports Line.
Thanks for watching Wolf and Luke. Tap to see more and click the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.